against my demands, they did it anyway. Thank you.
Her husband was very loyal and wouldn't agree to kidnap her, though, to get her out of the store for us.
He knows not to.
And I can
That's where you draw the line.
I can respect that. So. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming, joining us at the Gilded Page this evening to celebrate Julia's book. Love being celebrated so much.
It's my favorite. I love it so much.
But we love celebrating you because you celebrate everybody else. So. Yes. All right. So afterward, Julia will sign at the back table, and then Annette will be up here signing her books. We do have all of them for purchase, and anything else for the book. And then I will also cut the cake, and we'll have some more champagne, and just have a little party. All right. So Julia Bodwell is the author of contemporary YA novels with strong emotion and depth, which include One Wrong Summer, The Last Thing She Wrote, and now This Side of the Hudson. Originally from Pennsylvania, Julia moved to Florida in 2006 to study at the University of Tampa, where she earned her bachelor's in English literature and creative writing. A former middle school teacher, ELA teacher, she now owns and operates the Gilded Page bookstore here in Tarpon Springs, where she lives with her husband and their rescue cats. She's living my dream because I'm a high school English teacher, and she owns a bookstore and is a writer. I want to be Julia when I grow up.
I'm trying to lure you away.
My school loans are paid off in a year and a half. And she's here in conversation with Annette Masters. She's an award-winning YA author of The Hennessy Lie and Dragonfly Down. She holds bachelor's degrees in both exceptional student education and veterinary technology, a minor in children's literature, and certifications in copy editing. Annette has taught elementary school, worked as an intensive care vet tech at the University of Florida and the University of Georgia Colleges of Veterinary Medicine.
She's very accomplished.
Yeah. Very busy person.
Go Gators!
Co-founded and managed Main Street Animal Hospital, traveled the country as a horse show mom, and served a decade as both president and critique group moderator of Tampa Writers Alliance. She lives and writes on a small farm in Florida.
Where's their property in Florida?
Well, thank you, Annette, for agreeing to do this.
Odessa, yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you. That was a great introduction by Nicole, and it is such an honor and a joy. I'm going to cry.
Because if you cry, I'll cry.
Both of us really hate to be in front of people, so
And yet
this is
here we
great.
are.
Here we are.
It's just you and me up here. We're just talking like when you come to the store.
Yeah,
And
no,
those people
but
exist.
it really is such an honor to get to celebrate you because you do so much for your community and you do so much to promote indie authors in the area, and we appreciate it so much. So we really love getting a chance to celebrate you and this wonderful book. And without exaggeration, it was my favorite read of the entire summer. I loved it so much. It's so well crafted. It's so beautifully written. And no one captures YA voice like Julia. I think you really do that.
I'm just stuck in my teenage years.
Well, yeah.
forever an angsty teen.
How did you do it? Well, my questions start at the beginning. A very good place to start. Your intro is very gripping. You grew up your reader and you hold their attention to the final page. But as I was reading it, it's a tragic open. There's a tragedy in the very beginning. And it reminded me that all your books have very sensitive topics. And I wonder if you can talk about why we see these tough themes in all of your work.
I think some of that comes from my own personal experiences and then also my background as a teacher, seeing some of my students going through difficult things. I'm sure we've all been through hard times, and as a teen especially, it's even harder to get through. And so I try to bring, while all of my stories have some sort of tragedy that starts the plot and gets the story going, by the end the characters have redeemed themselves. They've found forgiveness. They found their way through the dark times to the light again. And I think that's really important, especially for teens. They're such a vulnerable age. To see that even when you're in the dark, you can find your way out again.
That's really great. There's something on the other side.
Yeah.
That's really
keep going.
great. So also one of the YA tropes, when you have a protagonist who is struggling, most of the time that protagonist is snarky, cranky, depressed, sullen, maybe even mean. But Kennedy is none of those things. So I'm wondering, how did you have a different vision for her, and why did you not follow the typical trope?
She definitely has her moments where she is, depressed and kind of going through that grief. I mean, it's no surprise the beginning of the story, her family dies in a car accident, and that's what starts the story. She has to move in with her aunt and uncle. She has to change schools, move states. So it's just everything different all at once. So not only going through that hard time, but having to just turn your whole life upside down.
And through all of that, even when she does go inward and she is depressed, she's still so kind. She's such a kind person.
I just wanted to show that, again, like, we all have those moments, we all go through things, and it doesn't give you the right to be mean to others. You know, you still have to keep going, and you can have those moments where you're just in a bad mood or you're cranky. We all have those moments, I'm sure. I know I do. My husband can tell you I'm cranky a lot, but you just have to keep going. And I didn't want her to be a character that, you know, you might come to not like and dislike her because she could be mean. I wanted her to be this just kind person that you want to see get better and get through it because you're rooting for her because she is such a nice person.
And I also really enjoyed, I thought it was really beautiful. She does have to go start at a new school at this horrific time in her life, but the other kids that she meets, they're all very kind. There was no bullying. She wasn't an outcast. There wasn't a group that immediately took her in. And again, are you trying to show kids how things could be? Is there a hidden message there? Or, again,
I mean, it wasn't intentional to put that hidden message, but I'm sure it's you know, it's not normal to have a high school, especially in today's climate where there's no bullies and everyone is nice, and those kids are probably kind of like the outliers in with her friend group. All of the, you know, the people that she meets and the friends that she befriends, they are all really nice kids, and I didn't really want to bring in, I know that's not realistic, that, you know, there is still bullying happening in schools and there's kids that are just not nice to each other, and we definitely would love to see way less of that. But I didn't want to include any of those characters. I wanted there to be this new support system for her. She had, you know, her old friends and her old life, and I wanted her to basically just fall into this new life and see, like, okay, I can keep going because there's going to be a new support system, new friends that are going to pick me up and carry me along.
Well, it was really refreshing to read a different take on the trope. I really enjoyed that. I didn't know if it was purposeful rebellion or...
Sometimes I just do things and I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, but it worked. So
that happens when you're writing.
Good for me.
I really enjoyed that you showed something different, and it was kindness. I think we all need a little more of that, so I really enjoyed that. But the entire novel, I feel like, is powered with dialogue. I think you write the best YA dialogue that I read anywhere. It's so authentic, and it's so fast-paced. There's never an extra word. I don't know how. First of all, how have you refined writing dialogue that tight, and how do you sound like a teen? Because it's not just throwing in. It's not just throwing in language or something. There's just a vibe about it that is so YA that I can't put my finger on. How do you do it?
I watch a lot of teen shows.
Oh,
I love me some teen drama.
That's a good
But no,
answer.
in all seriousness, I do worry about that. Like, the farther away from being in the classroom and being a teacher that I get, and like, I don't know, would the kids still say this? Like, is this the right slang? Like, I try not to use too many, like, you know, new age trendy slang terms that way, like, their dialogue could still hold up the test of time. And, you know, 20 years from now, if somebody picks the book up, they're like, what are they saying? So I kind of try to leave it neutral. But yeah, I mean, I guess, I do a lot of research without meaning to. I love my teen drama shows. And as far as
it's working for you.
Yeah, as far as the pace goes, you know, I think I probably do a lot of dialogue because as a reader, I don't like to get bogged down in the details. I'm like, I don't care. Just get to the point. Like, what are they doing? What are they saying? I read a lot of mystery thrillers, so it's like very plot driven. I don't really care what they look like. I don't really care where they are, what it looks like. Although, you know, that gave my editor some problems. She's like, what do they look like? I can't picture anything. And I'm like, I guess I have to add some details. So usually, I'll kind of sprinkle in some details. You know, what do they look like? What's the scene? And then just get right to the action. And for me, that's dialogue.
Yeah,
with so many characters pushing them, you know, through.
You have a lot of very diverse personalities in the book, and very diverse. It's a very diverse cast in lots of different ways. So I can tell who's talking without action tags, without dialogue tags, because their dialogue is so diverse. So I'm wondering, how do you keep that straight in your head, and how do you keep that consistent throughout the novel? Because these characters are so, even the secondary characters are so well developed.
I will talk out loud to myself when I'm writing. Like, I'll pretend I'm the character. Is kind of like, you know, almost like when you're acting, you're doing, you know, going through a script. So that's kind of how I envision, like, what would they say to each other and how would it go? And so I kind of like just do that maybe out loud or even in my head.
And how do you plot how do you weave them all together? Because they're all so different, yet they're all friends and they're all connected by this invisible string. How do you plot that and keep that going?
Well, I'm definitely not a plotter. I'm definitely, I guess it would be a plantser, where you plot just a little bit, like a brief outline. I always have in my head with all my stories, like, I know what's going to happen, like the big picture, and I know like who the main characters are and what they're going to do, but couldn't tell you who the other characters are or what their part will be, and sort of until it just sort of like unravels. And
well, the other writers here want to hear that you
yeah.
cry and you try so hard and it doesn't come natural.
I mean, there's definitely times where I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is not working.
Okay,
and,
good. That makes us feel better.
Yeah, right. All writers go through that. I'm not any different, and I'm not special, and it doesn't just come natural to me. It's just like sometimes it's pulling teeth, getting the words out. But I definitely try not to plot or plan it too much, because I know that the characters are going to change the direction anyway. So I just let them go.
The web that connects all of your characters is unique and interesting. It's not your typical story, and I love that. Also, in terms of dialogue, you have Charlie, who is a real hoot.
I love Charlie.
He's one of my favorite
I think
characters.
he's my favorite. I mean, obviously, I love Kennedy and Nick. Like, they're the main characters. But Charlie, man, he was so much fun to write. And it was a delicate balance between, like, not making him too annoying, where you didn't like him, but like just annoying enough where you're just like, okay, he's just like the, kind of snarky, annoying brother.
Yeah, he's so funny. And with the heavy topic that most of the book is based on, how do you know when to have Charlie lighten it up a little with his humor, or when to stop with the dialogue and have you have some times when you stop and have a really serious, heartfelt narrative. One example is when Kennedy's in the garage and she's unpacking boxes, and that's such a moving scene, it made me cry, and there was no dialogue in that. So you do it equally well, whether it's exposition or dialogue, but how do you know how to sprinkle that in perfectly?
I don't know, Annette.
Okay.
I'm not perfect.
Okay.
I don't always know. It's like, you just kind of feel it. I can't. I'm sure you have those moments
that's
too
a good
when you're
answer.
writing. You're
It's
just
a
like,
good answer.
oh, this would be a good time to slow down and
Yeah.
really, especially with heavy topics like this. You don't want to just. And that was something my editor had said. She was like, it's too back and forth. She's sad and she's happy, and then she's sad, and then she, like, you need to gradually.
Have you met a teen girl? That's
I was a teen girl, and maybe still am. I don't know.
So you tell the story through two POVs, Kennedy and Nick, and again, you keep their consistent voice going. I was wondering how you knew how long to stay with Kennedy, how long to stay with Nick, and how you stay consistent in their voices, because they're very distinct. The Manhattanite and the Jersey boy, their voices are so distinct, but you kept it so consistent.
Well, thank you.
It was beautiful.
As far as chapters go, it's a lot of what I like as a reader. I try to bring to my own writing, and I love short chapters. I get really annoyed when I'm reading a book and it's like the chapter is like 30 pages and there's no scene break. Where will I pause? So I definitely make sure when I'm writing that I provide at least some scene breaks. But again, the shorter chapters kind of move the pace along faster, and with YA, you really do have to move much quicker.
So when you were writing it, did you write a little Kennedy, write a little Nick, write a little Kennedy? You just bounce back and forth?
Yeah, and I wish I could say I just like go in a linear, like, okay, start with chapter 1 and write that. Okay, now chapter 2. But there'd just be like moments where I'm like, oh, I have this idea and I don't know where it's going to go, and just write it down and we'll find a spot for it later. And maybe it made it in, maybe it didn't. I don't know.
Well, another brilliant thing you did, don't tell me you didn't think about this one, but in most literary journeys, there's a mentor for the protagonist. They enter their new world and they have a protagonist. Kennedy goes to her new school and she meets a mentor, Maddie, a new friend. But you also, I felt like Claire kept coming back from the old world to remind us and to be a mentor to Kennedy in not forgetting who she is or what she comes from. So how did you make that decision to kind of... why did you think the reader needed that, or why did you give her two mentors?
I think that the new mentor in the new world was good because it showed her again, like, you're not alone. You might feel like everything's upside down, but this person can sort of be your new rock and, your best friend, like your new go-to. And it was important to keep the old best friend too, because I didn't want it to feel like, oh, well, she moved away, so we don't care about her anymore. Like they were friends since they were very little, and they had a long history together, and I didn't want that to feel like something that just gets thrown away when you move, because, at that age, that can happen. And she didn't move far away. She's only 45 minutes away from her old, from the city and her old life. So I wanted her to still be able to keep ties, at least with the best friend, because they were, so close. And she also needed her as sort of that piece that she could use to hold on to her old life and her family.
Yeah, it was a really fantastic way to show us that old life. You know,
because none of her new friends would know any of that. So instead of her just info dumping that I did this, like she could show through being with Claire.
Well, speaking of info dumping, I think the whole book is like a just gripping slow burn romance where you're just rooting for these two to come on, and poor Nick is. I'm scared of giving something away. Kennedy's going through a lot, so it's hard for Nick to approach her. And just when she's nice one day and then she's not the next day. But the invisible string that ties those two together is such a slow burn, and you just dribble in this backstory, and all of a sudden, as the reader, you realize, oh no. The backstory starts to collide. Their two worlds start to collide, and it's just torturous. How was that? Was that like your original idea, and then you wrote the book around it, or did that come to you later? Because you really torture those characters. You torture your readers.
I'm very tortured, so I like to bring other people into
if you like to
my black hole of torture.
No, don't. This can't be. No. Okay, what's going to happen next? That's what kind of.
And they're short chapters, so you can just keep going.
Yeah.
No, that was always the premise. The premise was always meant to torture you, and it was always the idea that these two characters meet. That's my doppelganger. She fills in when I don't feel like doing anything. No, it was always the intention that the premise started from this idea that we'll have these two characters and something tragic will happen to the one, and she will move and they'll have this little meet cute, and so it is a romance, but it's also contemporary, so there's all of these heavy topics and emotions and things that they're going through, but yes, it was always the intention to make them star-crossed lovers and have this
train wreck
of a connection and have their worlds collide in a way that you're just like, wow, will they survive this? I don't know. You have to read the book.
Well, one more thing I was going to say about dialogue, and don't say, oh, I just do it because it's easy that way. But your dialogue is...
Maybe it is.
Let me give you friends anymore. Oh, no. But your dialogue is so tight. It's just, there's never an extra word. And do you go through and just, pare it down and pare it down and pare it down until it is the fast of the read, or do you just naturally write that way, which is the limited amount of, okay.
I'm afraid.
Next question.
I'm afraid.
Next question.
A little bit of both.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good. It's not perfect all the time when it comes out on the page. And in fact, I've actually had to get over that as a writer where I would want it to be perfect the first time it comes out on the page, and then I write nothing. So now I just write something and hope that it's good enough, and then that's what editing's for. So,
okay.
But yeah.
Yeah,
it's not perfect every time.
Most of us have to go through and edit and edit and edit and edit.
Some of the times, but not all the time. Most of the time, it's not.
Okay. I don't want to give away spoilers when we talk about this next part, but there is, in my opinion, a very heavy social commentary in the book. So without giving away any spoilers, I wonder if we can talk about fairness, consequences, punishment. In this book, you give readers... We kind of see the train wreck coming, like I said. There's a terrible tragedy. And what I took from this was there's a terrible accident. So is that person at fault? Or if you look at this one accident, was there a random string of events that started way over here? And all of these accidents ended up to the tragedy. So who's to blame? And so I was wondering, and tell us that you worked really hard on this. I was wondering how, what were you trying to say about that? Were you trying to, in my book, Fantasy Lie, the mother always tells her daughter, one bad decision can ruin your life. Yeah. And your book proves it.
Yeah.
So,
and that was kind of what I wanted to convey, especially to young readers, is that, you obviously have to think through your choices before you make them. And we're not always going to make the right choice. Obviously, we make the wrong choice a lot of the time, but some of them can be life-altering, and you don't get to take it back. So that was an important message that I wanted to get to readers of all ages. I mean, anytime we make a decision or we consciously decide to do something, there could be consequences, and we have to be ready to face the consequences.
And that takes us to, what were you trying to say between the relationship between consequences, justice, and healing?
So that's a
Because
very,
you left a lot of that up to the reader.
I mean,
and
as
then,
it should be,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not for me to say, or it's kind of like a gray area where it's
Yeah.
like, if something is truly an accident, well, could anything leading up to that have stopped that accident? We don't know. And then in the case like this, you made conscious decisions, which still might have turned into an accident of some sort. So it's like, how much do you have to pay the price for that?
And do you think consequences equal healing? Will someone else's consequent punishment, judgment, will that help the other people heal?
Yeah.
So not only is this just a funny book, a heartwarming book, a gut-wrenching book, the train wreck of a romance, but even as an adult reader, it's the kind of book where, like, in traffic, a few days later, you're like, well, if this guy hadn't done this, then this, and then just because someone's punished, is that going to make her feel better? So there's so much food for thought when it's over. I think it'd be a great, classroom book for teachers to talk, you could talk all day about the consequences.
Yeah. Well, and just the idea that, some of my book club members that are here, they know I love to say, well, what if, what if they had done this instead? Like, we'll read a book and we'll say, well, let's talk about it. Well, what if the character had done this instead? We would have gone down a completely different path. And, from my own personal life, growing up, I would just say, well, what if I had done that differently? Well, you can't go back. It's too late. You've already made that choice and you've gone down this path. So, part of it is like, well, yeah, like you said, if someone has to pay the price and there's a consequence, it's not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to really help. You have to heal from within, not, the external of someone else is facing a consequence. So now I'm off the hook almost.
Yeah, I think the ending really leaves you with a lot of intellectual food for thought. And I think that's something you want to give teen readers. It's not just nothing. You can end this book and be like, whoa, there's a lot going on there. So is there going to be a sequel? Because we want to see.
I don't really like series, so.
I didn't say series.
I know, but like
a
sequel, and then they'll be like, well, then what? I don't know. I'm not gonna say never.
Okay.
Like, never say never.
Raise your hand if you would like to see Kennedy and Nick go to college together.
I don't know that that's possible, but
oh man,
we'll see. Again, never say never, but I got other things to do. I got other stories in my head.
Okay.
So if we're to leave it where it ends,
well, we can't tell them where it ends.
I know, but
okay. Is there anything
also
else?
it's open ended, so it's like you as the reader can decide where it goes from there. Don't we love when authors do
No,
that?
I like you.
Tell me what happens. Tell me how it ends.
Tell me. I want a happy ending, and I want you to tell me about the book. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the book before we take some audience questions?
This is my favorite book that I've written to date. And I've only written 3, so that's not many, but 33%.
Why is that? Why is it your favorite?
I think I just really loved the characters and the story. The other 2 are great. I really enjoyed them as well, and the stories and those characters. But just something about this, just really, I loved it.
I did too.
A little more. I don't have kids, but like I know you're not supposed to pick your favorite, but this is my favorite. My favorite book, baby. So,
well, I have 3 more pages of questions, but if any of you have any questions, Julia might like to answer those.
Yes, over here.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Ray.
You have to stand up.
No.
Yeah. Project your voice. Oh, I like your shirt.
Thank you. Who would you pick to narrate your book if you could? If you wanted to have an audiobook version of your book?
I don't know because I don't know any good narrators. Are you looking for the job?
Maybe. If you want it.
I will say that if I were ever to do an audiobook, it would have to be 2 narrators. So because it's first person point of view from Kennedy's and then first person from Nick. So you would definitely want to have
Maybe Taylor and Travis would do it.
Oh no! I hadn't even thought of that. They did get engaged at the bookstore. I don't know if you saw our post.
I saw that.
I'll have to ask. We're besties. We go way back. So. I have to think on that one, but definitely would need 2 narrators. I don't like when you have one narrator and then they try to change their voice and then turn that off so fast. I'm done with that one. No, it messes with it.
Yeah.
I don't bite if you want to ask anything.
Yes, the lady looks like Julia.
It doesn't even have to be related to the book.
So I also love
Eliza,
teen dramas.
Michelle,
Whoever I am today, I'm
who are you
Michelle
today?
today.
Okay.
I also love teen dramas, and so I want to know what is your go-to teen drama to watch on TV.
Ooh, well, I'm currently watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I'm not so patiently, waiting for, I think the finale is this week. And actually, you had said something about, like, if it would ever be adapted, like, who would play, like, who do I envision? I don't know who I would envision for Kennedy, but for Nick, I'm thinking the character that plays Conrad in The Summer. I don't know what his name is, but Conrad. It would be that character, like, you're Nick, so. But yeah, The Summer I Turned Pretty, I mean, there's so many, I can't keep track, but that's one of my favorites right now. What are you watching?
Well, I'm watching.
Like, what should I watch?
Gossip
The original? That actually reminds me, it's time for a rewatch for me on that one. I love, like, Team Blair and Chuck all the way. It is. It's a comfort show. You can just have it on in the background.
Anyone else?
I think Laura.
Doppelganger.
So, why do you look so amazing? No. How long ago did this story come in your mind? How long until you put it, fingers to keyboard? And was it after you wrote your other two books, or was it kind of interspersed? I'm kind of curious about your timeline with your books.
So this book took me 3 years from start to finish, and it was after the second book that I wrote. The Last Thing She Wrote, that was my second novel. So I'm not someone who really likes to work on multiple things at a time, but obviously if an idea comes to me, then I'll just, like, at least get it down and do something with it quickly, and then, like, it's there for me to come back to later. But so this one actually came to me first, and I started writing this, and then I got stuck, as one does, and I took a break from it, and I went to something that I'm still working on right now, which remains to be seen if I finish that. That's a 4-person point of view story. So I was like, this is ambitious. So I worked on that for a little bit, and then I got
paranormal.
No, it's another YA. I pitched it as Mean Girls meets One of Us is Lying, except all of them are lying. So, but I started working on that. Oh, is there a follow up to that?
Yeah. When can we read that?
I have to finish writing it first. I'm not as prolific as Michelle/Eliza, who's putting out book 3 this year. Oh wait, what is it that I said to my husband? I'm like, Eliza's putting out her 3rd book this year. I am also putting out my 3rd book this year, but those two mean different things. Like, this is my 3rd in general. This is your 3rd just this year.
I think that we need to read that one soon. So
Okay,
if
I'll
you
work
want
on
to
it.
do, like, writing sprints,
Yeah.
like, motivate you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send me some
I do want to finish that one, but I started this one, got stuck, started writing that one, got stuck, came back to this one and finished it, and then tried to go back to that one and got stuck again. So then I started writing an adult paranormal romance. Yeah, so that'll be my first adult book. I just keep getting stuck, and then what little bit of time I have, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that right now. Yes.
What kind of paranormal?
So it's more contemporary romance with, like, a sprinkle of paranormal, because it takes place in, like, a corporate America type setting. It's a rivals to lovers, but the paranormal aspect is that they're dead and they're working at, like, this afterlife corporation. So they're ghosts. I don't know, which one do you want first? I can't write them both at the same time. I would like to write them both, but it remains to be seen which one. It's really just a matter of, like, if I'm like, oh, I'll work on this one again, and then I get stuck, I'm like, all right, let me just go work on something else then, and maybe I'll finish it, or maybe I'll get stuck, and so it's, like, kind of ping-ponging back and forth. But yeah, this one was 3 years from idea to here it is.
Here it is.
So maybe in another 3 years we'll get the Mean Girls.
I don't think she's gonna allow that much time.
She'll just keep DMing me. Where is it?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Taylor?
How do you go about writing a book in a location that you don't spend a lot of time in, or you don't live there? Like, how do you go about that?
Well, I try to write in settings where I've been or I've lived, because I think there would probably be a lot of research involved otherwise. The first book that I wrote, One Wrong Summer, takes place where I grew up, and the second book takes place in California, where I lived for a very brief amount of time, and then this one is, again, still in the area where I grew up. So I think if I were going to choose a location where the setting mattered, I would definitely have to do, like, research, and maybe I would get to go on a trip there. So maybe I'll set it in Europe. Yes, Europe? Yep. I'm saying yes. And I need my research assistants. Yep, my team.
Yep.
Carry the book bag.
Right? Someone's got to carry the bag. Was there any other? I thought I saw a hand over here. Yes, Sarah.
When you're writing and you either get blocked or you start spiraling, is there any literature or reference that you go back to that helps you stay focused?
I'm sure there is, but I don't utilize it, and that would probably be very helpful. I might get more accomplished if I actually had a resource. I usually just get frustrated and I'm like, I'll come back to this later, and I go do something else. Usually a distraction will help reset my mind, and then I can come back in a little while. And sometimes it's just I've taken a break for a while, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I have to go write this down, and then I get sucked in for a few hours, and I'm like, I should probably go to bed. I wish I had better answers, but I don't. Just on the fly, I'm just gonna do this.
That isn't true.
Right, Leah?
How do you cope with your characters?
How do I cope?
Come up with my characters.
Cope with your characters.
Some of them I do have to cope with. Maybe not so much in this book, but previous books, there were some not so nice characters. I wish I had a better answer for that too. They just come to me, and like I said, I have the idea of the story, and it's sort of as I'm writing it, they come alive, and I usually have a general idea of maybe what they might look like, or more personalities. Again, I don't really care what they look like, so I have to figure that out later, but it's more about the personalities for me, is how would they, act, how would they treat their friends, what are they like with their families, that sort of thing. So that's usually where it starts, is the personality, and then it builds from there, and how do they interact with the other characters, and then sort of weave it all together. Like Annette was saying, I do, apparently.
Easy.
Easy. So easy. Great.
Do you put Easter eggs in your books?
I didn't put any in this one, but there are some Easter eggs. I think there's one or two in The Last Thing She Wrote. So if you have read One Wrong Summer and then you read The Last Thing She Wrote, you will hopefully pick up on the Easter eggs. I tried to think about how I could put some in this one, and it just didn't make sense. I didn't want to force it. But I do love when authors just give you a little nod to a different book. As a reader, I love that. So I'm always ooh, can I do that? So it didn't work out for this one, but maybe the Mean Girls one, we can do an Easter egg from this one. We'll see.
I have a question back here, Julia.
Don't be nervous, it's fine.
What advice would you give to a first-time author who has several books nearly finished, 98% done, and that imposter syndrome just silences?
You just have to be louder than the imposter syndrome, because I feel that. I'm sure Annette's felt that. All authors have those moments, and if they don't, they're lying.
Do you have a writer's group? Do you
Right?
have friends to share it with?
Yeah,
That's what you
having a
need.
support system is definitely.
Other actual writers, not the lady down the street or something. Oh, there's a difference. Sorry.
Unless the lady down the street is a writer.
Yeah.
She might be.
She is.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I do need to get.
Yeah, having a support system, definitely. Did you want to add anything to that? Because you have a lovely support system right here.
I would not have been able to write my books without my friends from Tampa Writers Alliance. It's kind of since fizzled out, sadly. But when we were there, it was the best it ever was, and we had the best time. And we've all written books, and Tom has something coming out, Margie has something coming out, Kim's writing another novel, you've got some. So you have to have friends that are doing it, friends that can. I've quit writing so many times, and Kim is well, you're too far in now to quit. You have to keep going. And I'll be like, I'm not writing anything else. And then she'll say, well, what about blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then you're back in it, And your friends also give you ideas. They pull you back in. They're horrible people. You really need a cheerleader on your side that understands how hard it is. And how many times have we quit writing?
6,000.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to do pickleball next. We've decided.
That'd be fun. But yeah, she said pretty much what she said. Yep, for me too. Yeah, having a support system and just trying to be louder than that voice saying you can't do it. You're not good enough. Just she shh, I have work to do, and then just keep going.
Especially if you're 98% of the way there.
That's you're done.
You could be
now.
done
Just,
tonight.
Yeah, right.
Go home and
finish the book, and then
yeah. So I'll read it. Send it to me. You need friends. There's a bunch of people here that'll probably help you. Yeah. Yeah.
And then why don't you tell us about
Oh yes, please. You released a book earlier this year, and I would love for you to tell people about it. And I know you said I wasn't allowed to do that, but I can do whatever I
It's time for cake and punch. We're here for Julia.
Just a little synopsis.
Um,
Because you write mystery thrillers, which I love to read.
I do write
So,
YA thrillers,
you need to tell us about them.
the one that came out this summer is it's kind of like your book in a way, because it's a story about a girl who's so caught in the trauma of the past that she can't be present or head into her own future. The irony in that is her mother is the leading world expert on adolescent anxiety and trauma research, but her own daughter is just like spiraling. And then there's another tragedy, and she just can't possibly cope because she's never healed from the first one. So there's a tragedy where her sister goes missing. She's presumed dead, and she just refuses to accept that her sister's dead. But all the adults are like, all the evidence points to the fact, but she has to listen to her own intuition. She goes on a journey of trying to decide. I don't like talking about me. Trying to decide whether.
How does it feel?
I don't like it. Whether she has to face her sister's death or find her sister alive. In the end, she gets convicted of arson. So now she really has to solve the mystery, or she'll go to jail. So that's
And there will be a sequel?
No. We're doing pickleball. We already said.
No more books, just pickleball.
So,
Yes,
I
Rory?
love that you said it in Tarpon Springs.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
I did.
I was like, what? I didn't realize it was set in Tarpon Springs, and then I was like, oh my gosh,
Yes. To answer your question, I, like Julia, just write places I know. It is set in Tarpon Springs, and they get dinner at Rusty Bellies, and they go to Mr. Souvlaki. Yeah, so there's a lot of nods. Most of it takes place off a fictitious island, but they do come into town. I think they go to Hellas, and they get some. Yeah, so I wanted to give a nod to this awesome little town.
Students at Tarpon High School help pick the cover.
Yes, that is the best part. When I was creating the cover, I just couldn't decide. I had like 5 that I love them all. My friends couldn't help me. So I had all these covers, and I didn't know which one to use. And Mrs. Fincher from Tarpon High was having a book festival at her school, so I took copies to the school, and I had the students vote, and it was like unanimous. And so I came home that night, and I told my husband that the students had voted, and it wasn't the one he liked. And he's like, "You're really going to let these kids choose the cover of your novel?" And I'm like, "Well, they are my audience. So if you like the cover of Dragonfly Down, you can thank her class." That was fun. Yeah.
It's truly just a wonderful community. Like, to see all of you here is just, it means so much to me. Thank you all for coming. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything else because I don't
We
cry.
all
But
appreciate you. You all, Julia really does a lot for the independent community around here, the independent authors, and we all appreciate it so much. You really do. I don't think you realize that for us to be able to see our book on a shelf, it really is a dream come true. So we appreciate that you give us that opportunity so much. Thank you.
thank you all. I think that's it. But there's cake and champagne, so stick around if you'd like to have some snacks. Please eat all of it so I don't have to take